podcast all about theater, from the page to the stage, from the players to the playhouses. We're bringing you information all about the culture of performing arts here in Detroit, United States, and around the world. Welcome to Curtain Call. We're going to try to uplift you, entertain you, inform you, educate you all about live theater in the city, and bring you the stories of the people who bring you the stories on the stage, whether they're singers, actors, dancers, producers, playwrights, directors, crew, lights, technicians, any and every story that we can come up with, and the people who bring them to you is what we're going to talk about on Curtain Call. And we're fortunate again today to have another exuberant personality, an outstanding actress, a well-known singer throughout the city of Detroit, Miss Jeannie Lyles. Welcome, Jeannie Lyles, to the show.
How y'all doing out there?
All right.
I got to clap on myself. I'm a comedian too, baby.
Believe that. She is a comedian. One of the most bright, brilliant personalities I've ever known. I call it Jenny Lyles.
Jenny Lyles.
Jenny Lyles. That's what you got to say it, like Jenny Lyles. On the show today. Yes. Welcome, and we got our co-host with us, Miss Diane Mathis.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. So the gang's all here, and we're happy to be here today for Curtain Call. Jeannie.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, and I know you're a singer from way back. And primarily a singer, but I've seen you on the stage. Not only have I seen you on the stage, I've had you on the stage.
That's right.
And you did an outstanding job. And one of the things that we like for our audience to know is how you got the bug, when you got the bug. When did you know that? Well, we know as a singer, you probably picked that up in church somewhere. And then, but that's theater side, that acting, being on the stage, doing live theater. When did that happen for you? Tell us all about it.
Okay, let's start. You know, I like starting from the beginning
and
working myself to the end.
Okay,
baby.
Your camera's right
it's
here.
Right here.
There's a camera right over there.
Let me know where it is, because I want you to see all
We don't want to look at this. So look at that camera over there.
From every angle, trust me.
Well, this is the cool thing. When I was younger, everybody say you start at an early age, and that is true. Because my mom used to try to keep me busy because I was always running my mouth trying to do something. So she said, I got to get my baby in something because she's about to drive everybody crazy.
Okay.
So whenever she would have cousins come from out of town, they'll have us singing.
Okay.
Me and my sisters. Okay. And so I was like, dang, I sound pretty good. Papa was a rolling stone, baby. Wherever he laid his hat, where's his home? And when he died, all he left was alone. I'm breaking it on down. Now, my cousin actually, he was part of writing that song. Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Okay.
Barrett Strong.
Oh,
so
really?
That's my first cousin, my mama's brother's son.
Okay.
So I always had the bug, because when I would go over to his house, I would see all the little plaques and, the little gold albums and stuff. And I'd be like, dang, I want to be like that. I want to get that. I want to do that. So I just kept it, and I would ask him what would he suggest to do, and he'd just say, keep at it. That was one thing. He'd be like, keep at your craft. Try to be different than anybody else, but do what you feel that you can do in your heart and just bring it out. Just keep at it, and I really like that. So, like I said, my mom would have us all in church singing, and I would think, okay, after church we always got a treat. So I was hurrying up to sing so I can get that treat. She was like, church ain't like that, baby. You just can't go to church just to sing, to get yourself some donuts. So she would have me rolling. She wasn't playing. But I picked it up from my mom. My mom sang in the choir, and my dad would play the harmonica. And that's another thing. I thought in order to get food, you had to do some kind of thing. If you singing or you playing, because Daddy would play the harmonica. As soon as we get done, he'd come down for dinner. He'll come down for brunch, and I go breakfast. I'll go like, well, dang, he's singing. You know, I say I will play to eat or whatever. I always thought my daddy was. I said, dang, Mom, did you pick him off the street? But he said, I just got the bug. And my first time on stage, you're going to crack up, because I had never really heard myself on a microphone in front of a lot of people. and we had this talent show. I grew up in Highland Park, and we had this talent show, and it was me and my sister. So I begged to lead the song, and she was already doing such a good job. But I was like, "Can I lead one of the songs?" So she let me lead, and girl, I got out there. I'm wishing on a star. And then I got scared. I feel it's time we should make up, baby. I feel it. Oh my God, is that my voice? And my sister got so mad they got us off that stage. She was like, "You were supposed to keep going." I was like, "Well, I didn't know my voice was reaching all the way out there." Excuse me. So she never let me lead a song again. But I'm the only one out of my sisters that really kept it up.
Okay.
And want to do it. So I got into the theater and the acting part, and thank God I ran into you, because that was one of my good jobs, family love.
Okay.
And I love that. And so I started at a younger age and just kept going at it. And I guess they would always say too, if they don't tell you to come back, you keep coming, that means you're good, you got something going. So I would go and do something, say, "Mama, they didn't tell me not to come back." She said, "Well, keep going." And then my first song was with Impulse. We had a song out. It was called Impulse, and it was "Don't Let This World Turn You Cold." And
Okay.
Greg Dokes, rest his
Greg
soul.
Dokes.
Yeah, rest his soul. But that was another time that I got a chance to hear my voice over the radio that time, and it was just so cool. I'm like, "Oh my God!"
And Jeannie, that's when I first met
Yeah.
you with Impulse. We were
Yeah,
up in Saginaw, Michigan,
Yeah.
and you were performing with Impulse,
Yeah.
and I was with a group called Clever Affair.
yeah,
And that's how I met you. I
Yep.
didn't know you were an actress. I just knew you as a singer.
Yeah.
And then all the other things. And then we did Family Love, and you were in that again. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Were y'all in Family Love together?
yeah.
yeah,
I
you don't remember that?
Yeah.
movie?
I've had so many versions of Family
I
Love.
know
I
you
can't.
have.
But
I
ours
can't
was the
remember.
good version, baby.
I've had so many versions. One with Mia Johnson.
Yes,
Yep.
you had me. Absolutely.
I've had so many
Mhm.
versions of Family Love. That play was pretty popular.
Yes, it was. It was a wonderful play.
Yeah.
And when Jeannie played the role
Yeah.
of my daughter, that
Yeah.
was awesome.
Okay, so you played Tony. I mean,
Wherever you put me,
Mickey.
that's what I did. I sure did.
I thought you played the other girl.
It don't matter. I keep playing stuff.
I
I just keep playing.
can't remember the roles you had.
But I know it was great. But John Gooden, he put me in one too. It was so funny. He told me to go up to the church, and they were auditioning, but he said it was over. So I said, "John, how you gonna send me somewhere and it's over?" He said, "Just go do what I say, and you ask for Marvy, and if Marvy put you in, you all right."
Mhm.
So that's where I came. It was like they never told me not to come back, so I kept coming and coming and coming. Next thing you know, I'm in the play, and I'm going on tour. So I had the nerve to go back to Comerica Bank and say, "You know what, you guys, I'm going to be a star." outta here. And then I had to come back and say, "Can you hire me part-time?"
Oh my God, Jeannie, that is crazy. What play was that you were in?
Oh my God. What was it? It was with come back to it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because it was with Marvy Wright was doing it, and she was having everybody, and it was actually Mom. You remember Mama Don't?
Oh yeah, we were just talking about Mama
Yep,
Don't.
and
I
so it was
think
right
that was
after.
the very first
And then his
gospel
second one.
musical
Yes.
that started all that whole cycle with Michael
Mike
Matthews.
Matthews.
That's who I was
Yeah.
with, Michael
Mama
Matthews.
Don't, Mama want to sing.
Mama Want to Sing.
Mama
Wicked Ways.
Wicked
Wicked Ways.
Ways.
I was in Wicked Ways, and I thought I was something else in Wicked Ways. And then, like I said, they just kept going and going, because if they don't tell you not to come back, then you just keep going.
Mhm. I think it was Michael Matthews that started that whole urban genre
Yes, he did.
of what they call the chitlin circuit.
The
play.
Chitlin Circus, and boy, I had some good chitlin.
Yeah,
Chicklins.
and Family Love. I actually did Family Love around the same time, and was doing Family Love around the same time.
Yeah.
And Mama Don't took off.
Yeah. He had actually two of them going. He had
Mhm.
Ours, Wicked Ways, and Mama Don't.
Mhm.
Somebody be over there and somebody be, and but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I had stuck with it for so long. I ended up carrying the money on me, and I would ride the bus with the money. So when we
Oh
go
my
to
goodness.
the hotels, I be the one who have to get all the rooms and stuff together. I had to pay them.
Mhm.
I said, "Oh, I'm picking up a little thing now. Not only am I acting, but I'm controlling the money. I need extra."
I know that's right.
But he would give me extra. He definitely paid me. They say the eagle fly. I'd be looking for that eagle. I thought it was up in the air, but it was on the table. Give me my money.
Oh,
Jenny
my
Lyons.
God.
So your cousin was Barrett Strong, but
Barrett Strong.
you know, some of this audience may not know who Barrett Strong is, unless you're of a certain generation.
Yeah.
You know,
one of the best writers.
Yes, and he was right neck and neck with Norman Whitfield. They used to write and everything together. So he did. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Heard it through the grapevine. Just My Imagination, War, and that's what we're going through now, War, and just a lot that he did that, and he his first hit was when he was, I think my mom said he was 16 or 17, and he was the one singing and playing Money. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, he was the first one, and my mother would say to ask her brother, "Do we have an attorney?" You got him an attorney because you got to have an attorney, but he still, nobody could stop him from writing and doing his music, and he was just superb. So I always looked up to him and wanted to be part of the Motown, and then was make it so funny. Now Barrett was doing the music. I have a cousin, her name is Sherry, and she works for Motown now. So out of 40 years, 50 years, I got somebody else that's right there smacking Motown. Now she don't, now she don't sing or nothing, but yeah, girlfriend, she take care of business. Yes, she on point. I was like,
that's important.
Yeah, that's my cousin. I call her my twin, sister twin. I'm gonna say, look at this film, sister twin. Yep, cousin twin. Yeah. So that just took it just took a toll. Like I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to play the piano, and but it was so funny. I got there and I saw those white and black keys, and I'm like, that's just too much. They look alike. I didn't know they sound different. They look alike. You got white and black keys. I can't tell one from the other. Well, why don't you start from the center? No. But my mother.
That's where you start.
From the
middle C. Yeah.
Middle C, man. And I still be dun, dun, dun. But my mom, it was so funny when she would take us on the bus because my mother didn't drive. My dad did everything, you know. She so he every time she would get the car, he would act like she scratched the car. You know, my dad always had me car, so he just was thinking ways where she didn't have to drive. You know, he wanted to be the only driver in the house. So my mother said, well, since I put a scratch on the car, you take me everywhere I got to go. Hey. And did you know my daddy lived up to that?
Yes, he did.
When we had to go to the dentist, all three of us, the last three had to get in the car and go. If you didn't have a cabinet, you had one today. Because my daddy was taking everybody. I would go like, dang. But he would take her everywhere she had to go. But a couple of times, my mom would take us to, me and my sister, to vocal training. And we would go. And on the bus, and I never forget us. I didn't know the lady would be playing the keys, and she would try to see where I'm at, and the cats would be jumping, and I go, ah! Every time.
Oh my God!
That lady said she's a high C. She's a soprano. She didn't know I was scared of them cats. How you gonna have us in the house all them cats? Every time they jump, I would hit it. It would even my turn.
Jeannie, when are you going to go on stage as a comedian?
You know what? I should, because I tell you, I can talk about my life and have you laughing all day long.
All day long.
Yes, but man, oh man, that was so funny. I was hitting that lady. My mother say, well, why is she? That lady say she's a soprano. But just a lot of good things, you know. And just still to be able to be doing it, because I like doing it. You know, I really like the music business. Really thought that I should be way over above, because like I said, my first record was with Impulse. Then Mason, I never forget how I met Mason from WJLB, and I do a lot of things for Mildred Gaddis and the Turntable Sisters. Remember them back in the day, Janet G. And I used to do a lot of stuff for Mason. He would call me in the middle of in the morning and go like, Jeannie, just sing over the phone. I'm like, well, instead of we come to the end of the road, you know, or something like that, we come to the end of the road. It's something else, you know. Or Tony Braxton, I'll never breathe again. I'd be like, and I will never eat again, eat again, and I will never eat again. And I can't stop thinking about those chitlins in my. I go on and on. I'll go like Mason. So I did a lot what Mason used to do, and then my girl Mildred, she would have me do things for Kim Worthy back in the day. She was over. Well, she had a baby and she lost the baby, and so she would do things for that ward, that hospital ward, and she would have me sing One Moment in Time. You know, one
Okay.
moment in time.
Mm.
You know, so that was a nice one. But going back to what Mason, how I met him, back in the day on 4th Street where Comerica there was a McDonald's. Do you remember that downtown? It was a
Vaguely.
McDonald's. So one day I was walking down the street, my girlfriends, we going to lunch, and so Mason walked past us, and he was like, "How y'all doing?" I was like, "Hi." I kept going. My friends said, "You don't know who that is?" I said, "Who is it?" They said, "That's Mason." I said, "Mason." They said, "Girl, you should know him." So guess what I did? I go down to WJLB, Penobscot building, go up in there. Dang, I should know him. Let me see how I'm going to know him. How I'm going to know him? Girl, I went up there and said, "Hi, Mason. Sorry you forgot our appointment. Call me when you get a minute. You missed our meeting." Boom. Mason called, said, "I missed a meeting." I said, "It's me." They say I should know you. Girl, we in McDonald's. We in McDonald's. And I'm like, I sing. He said, "You sing?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay. If I find a way to love you, can I come and play?" Mason like, "Okay, that's enough. We're in line. I'm trying to order my cheeseburger. And you in line singing to me." It was so funny. I had him rolling. So that's how we met. And then he had a gentleman that he grew up with in school. And he said, "Well, I'm going to put you together with this guy and see how I can work on you guys." He brought the guy in from Cleveland. And his name.
There. Oh. You're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Streaming to you live on YouTube and now Facebook. So be sure to give us a thumbs up. Write some comments. If you're enjoying today's comedy show edition with Jeannie Lyles, definitely give us a comment. Call if you like. But everybody you know, your family and friends that know that we're talking about theater on Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. And while I've got your attention, let me just say that I will be doing a acting class beginning July 10th from 6:30 to 8:30 at True Gospel Living Word Gospel Church on Myers at Finkel. So look for the advertisements on that. Get in on this class. It's a 6-week intensive acting class where we're going to talk about interpretation, with characterization, memorization, movement. We're going to get you ready for the stage and for film. So again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV. And I'm turning it back over to our comedian,
Jeannie, turn us on. All right.
Okay, and you
Any commercial breaks? Do I need to do a break?
No, that was good. That was good. Okay.
Okay. So, back to that story, right? So, anyway, Mason hooked me up with a guy. He said, we're gonna call yourselves E&J. E&J. So the guy name was Eric Nolan. So we were doing things, trying to hook up with Gerald Levert, and we were going to travel with their tour that they had, father and son. And one thing is a lot of jealousy in the industry. So you gotta watch yourself. And so anyway, makes a long story short, Eric ended up being one of the I want to say he's one of the three out of Eddie,
the OJ,
and Eric. He's one of the OJs now.
Okay.
And so he's been there for a minute now. The moment we kind of broke off, that's where he went. So it's a lot of times I've had the chance to do something. But me, I'm a dieharder. Like if it's gonna be a duet, then I'm gonna hang with you. But see, it's a cutthroat.
Well,
and
it's business. You have to have your place.
Yeah.
You know where you need to be.
Yeah.
You can't think about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's for them.
That's right.
And Jenny, you are so amazing. There's always a space for you.
It's gonna be, baby.
Always.
It's gonna be. You got to stick with it and maintain it, and just be happy about it, because how they say, it just wasn't your time. God got times for everybody.
That's right.
It's a time to live and it's a time to go on, right?
That's
But it's just a time, your time frame. So I just didn't let that. And then I used to write a lot. I never forget. I went to I worked at, what was it, the Internal Revenue of Michigan First or something, Michigan on
the bank.
Yeah, it was like it was a bank, and I used to work with Alicia Myers' sister-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Her sister-in-law was married to Jack Myers. And one day I was working, and I used to always have my little tapes. You know, I'm gonna have my little tapes. I'm singing, girl. I'm singing.
Mhm.
So one day she asked me for my tape. Well, she gave it to Alicia Myers,
Okay.
and Alicia Myers was just breaking out with her own thing.
Mhm.
She was leaving One Way,
Okay.
and so she called me and she said, Jeannie, Alicia, she's not with One Way, but she referred you to One Way to try to join One Way.
Oh, wow.
So I went there, but this is how it was so funny. This is how they did the auditions. When I got there, I met Kevin McCord and the rest of them. I just remember Kevin because he was amazed of how I would come up with songs. He said, how do you do that? I said, I don't know. I fall asleep and wake up and be like, hey, baby, don't you know I miss you? Anything. But my audition with them was, when I came in, they said, okay, we're going to play this music and let's hear what you come up with. So I had to come up with stuff. So they was like amazed, like this little girl, you're right then, because I was in my 20s. And they was just amazed at what I would come up with, right? So Kevin said to me one day, he said, you know what? I like your style and everything. I'm going to try to work with you. So I was like, okay. I went to 2 auditions for One Way. And then another group already accept me. So I'm like, hey, if y'all can accept me right off the bat, I'm going on. You can't do that. You got to hang with what's the best. But that's okay. It wasn't my space to be in that place. So anyway, I ended up going with another band that was in Ohio. But I traveled. I went to Japan. I went all over the place, and they got me in a lot of places.
What was the name of the group?
It was called Full House. Okay. And what I liked about that band, it was me and this guy. We were, it was a lot of I want to say it was a mixed band. Okay. And girl, when we put on shows, like if I did Dolly Parton, I had to have the blonde wig. I'll be like, tumble out of bed and a stumble in the kitchen for myself. I mean, they made we had to act the part out.
I understand.
Yeah, so
we did the same thing.
Yeah, we had a segment where we would act out the actual person. So it was really cool. If we want to be Tina Marie and Rick James, all kinds of stuff.
That's what makes you so marketable, because you can transition to do whatever you need to do. And that's what makes a good entertainer. Because if you can do Dolly Parton, just to share a story with you, I did the same thing with the group I was with, Clever Affair. That's how I ended up in Las Vegas with the Platters. See? Because they videotaped me perform as Dolly Parton.
There you go.
Wig,
do that wig and that. And back then I had to push the boobs up. So it didn't matter, baby. I had them drawstrings pulling on up.
Oh my God.
And I had to make sure the suit was a little bit tighter than what it usually is. Right. So it make it look like I had something. But I was tumbling out of bed and stumbling in the kitchen.
You a mess.
But you know what? I never forget. One of my good friends, her name was Barbara. Her last name escapes me right now. But one time, she said, Jeannie, I wanna go to this audition that you have. I said, okay, well, come go with me. So she said, well, what is it? I said, you got to be in the 70s. So I go to get her. She meet me there. She gets out the car. She dressed for the part. So when she get there, I'm like, dang, I didn't think of it like that. Oh my God, she gonna take my part. Girl, I got in there. The man said, now she gonna get the part because you ain't dressed nothing like the 70s. So whatever you do, that's why I say, they be like, how old are you? What you do? I say, you just have to check it out. Because whatever they looking for, that's what I am.
That's gonna be.
That's what it has to be. She can't dress the part.
Absolutely. Did she get the part?
Well, they canceled the thing. But it was real funny.
For either one of
them. But I think the funniest thing, I think it was going to be on like Earl Flynn and BK. Remember back in the day, it was something here. So it was something like what they did with White Rick. Remember, it was something like they were going to do a movie on that, but it never got off the ground. But yeah. But speaking in movies, I'm in a couple.
Okay.
I'm in a few movies in Tubi.
I know.
I stumbled on it. Now I'm gonna tell you one. My niece is Mina Monroe. Okay, she's the queen of Tubi. She's in about 20 or 30 movies. I say, go on, girl. But I told her one day, I said, now how I'm gonna tell my church? I'm gonna tell my church to watch it because y'all just too outstanding up here. You're doing too much. Back in the day, you always had stuff up here, right?
Right.
They down here now.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So I'm gonna share this funny story with you. My niece was like, my nephew, they all around the table conversating. They made me leave my home. They taping at my home, but they made me leave my home because I'm saying, okay, if y'all not gonna let me in, I'm leaving. They said, okay, see you. So I have on my little outfit, getting ready to go. By the time I get to the corner, they call me. Auntie, come on back. I said, come on back. Yeah. I said, y'all got a part for me? They say, I don't know. Just come on back. We need something. So I get back to the house. My niece, everybody down the basement, whatever, they around the table discussing things what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm around the table, sitting there. The name of this movie was Three Keys, right? So I'm sitting there with them. So they like, well, we only got one girl. She's doing the part. That's why I say you got to be on it, right? You got to be on it. So I tell the girl, oh, you gonna get it, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, don't you dare get it. I don't want you to get it. I want you to stumble. Yeah. Because they used to always say you got to have your part because there's somebody in the background waiting on you. So I'm trying to encourage her, Robert, Mr. Robert. I'm trying to encourage her. I'm like, oh, you'll get it. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, don't you get it? I'm trying to write the words. I'm in the back, like, what's she saying? What's she saying? Stumble. So they kept saying, cut. So finally the girl say, well, I got to go. So now I'm sitting there and now they discussing. I got my family around there, my niece, my sister, everybody around the round table discussing on how they going to do that part. So they say, well, Auntie, they said, we only got one part ready. I said one part. They say now I'm right here. I'm saying to myself, one part. They like, it's only one part that we got that's available. And unfortunately, it have a curse word in there. Oh, well, I don't know who we gonna get. They say, because we know Auntie Jeannie ain't gonna do it. I looked at them. This radio, this TV. I said, give me that script. But I said something else. I said, give me that script. I had them rolling. They laughed so hard. I had a couple curse words. But afterwards, I was telling them no. But to get that part, I had to curse. Then when I get on set, I had a curse word to do. Guess what I was saying? They said, you get ready to get fired. You don't want to say the curse word? I said, I got to say it low. You got to say it loud. But it was just so funny. Girl, I said, give me the script. I got this. Then I made a mistake and put everything over my face, right? Because it was around COVID. So I had my mask on, my glasses on. So then when I looked, I said, well, who gonna know it's me? Ain't nobody gonna know it's me. I didn't cover myself. I didn't cover myself up. Girl, they say, don't worry, we'll put some out there. So they wrote right when they show my face, they wrote, it's my hating auntie. I said, well, at least they know it's me. Thank you very much. Gosh. But it be funny things. But that's why I say sometimes you got to keep with it. And sometimes you got to like absorb it. And sometimes you can't share everything. Because like I said, that girl came with the outfit on and she didn't got my good thing it didn't go out. But she dressed with the big wig, the bell bottoms, and not coming there. She coming there dressed for the part. Just give me the few lines. So you know it's really challenging. It's good. I had another thing I could keep talking in a minute.
Go right ahead.
Right.
This is the Jenny Loud Show.
The
Jenny Loud Show.
Mr. W, that's why I said let's get
Jenny
Loud Show. Yeah.
That's why I said
So listen, I go to.
I'm just here to do station ID.
I'll tell you what you do, cameraman. Just have to give it in every now and then. Sort of like a sweep. Oh my God, girl! I'm so my friend. I wanted to go to. We were going to the Aretha Franklin Athenaeum. Is that what you call it? Right. So we getting ready to go. So I didn't want to go. My girlfriend said, "Come on, Jeannie, get the ticket so we can go hang out."
Oh, you mean the amphitheater?
That's it, girl.
Okay.
That's why I love you being on the other side. So.
Okay.
So my girlfriend said, Jeannie, we want you to go. So I kept saying, no, you know, I'm like, forget it, I'm gonna go. So I meet one of my friends from school and he said, where you sitting? I say, I'm up there. That's okay, I'm good. He said, well, is your seats better than mine? I said, I don't know where you're sitting. He said, the fourth row. I say, see you, friends.
And you went
and sat there. Next thing you know, I'm up there and sitting there enjoying the show, and Mickey Howard comes towards me and give me that mic. Why did she do? I was acting all shy. giving her the look. I don't know nothing.
Oh my
She
God.
gave me that mic. I couldn't stop. I changed her lyrics.
Oh my goodness.
I'm in love under new management.
Did she get her mic back?
No, she left the stage and left me on there.
know
I
she
say,
did.
what a sore loser. No, it was really nice though. It was really nice. It was like I would have been sitting further, but I end up sitting closer.
Mhm.
And when she came to me and gave me that mic, I was like, this is your chance. Boy, I was singing, going across the stage. They say, go on up. I say, you sure? They say, yeah. I say, don't have to tell me number one. I grabbed the mic
Mm, mm, mm.
and just started singing with her. So that was the best experience ever. That was the best ever. But then they didn't get my name right. They say Jeannie first. They said Jeannie Lyles, Jeannie Lyles, Jeannie Love, Jeannie Love. I say get it right. That was my first. You didn't screw me up. Nobody gonna know again.
Oh my
Jeannie
God.
Lyles. We got Jeannie Lyles
Jeannie,
today
Jeannie.
on Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Streaming to you live on YouTube and Facebook. Coming up soon, though, we'll just be on YouTube. So give us a like, give us a thumbs up, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Tune in, because we're going to tell you what's going on in the city, where the plays are, what the plays are, who's in them. And then we're going to try to bring you all the people who are in those shows and get them here live on Curtain Call, just like we've got Jeannie Lyles with us today. So again, you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV. And while I'm at it, I'm Robert L. Douglas, and I will be teaching an acting class. So you think you can act? The acting class is called Stage Presence, and it'll be at True Living Word Gospel Church on Myers, right at Finkel. I'll get you the address and have it for you next week on Thursday, 6:30 to 8:30. Come and get an intensive workout, intensive training on how to perform live on the stage as well as in front of a camera. We're gonna bring it all to you so that when you get ready for an audition, we'll have you ready. You will do well in the auditions once you take this class. So you're watching Curtain Call on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. Jeannie Lyles.
Hey. It's me.
So Jeannie, what are you doing now?
Right now, what I'm doing, I'm at the Hideaway Bar. It's on Southfield Road.
I just heard about that for the first time
Yeah.
yesterday.
It is
on
black
South
owned.
and where?
It's like past 12 Mile. You know where Applebee's is? It's like pushed back in the back.
Yeah.
But it's a very nice club. We do every other Friday. So this Friday we will be there. We do R&B, jazz. We do anything. I say old school, new school, and your school. We do it all. That's what I say.
Cool.
And we do it all. And we're from 6 to 9 up there. And it's really cool. They switch out bands every other Friday. So we're every other Friday. And working on a movie and also working on another play with Sheila Finn. And it's called Just My Imagination. And how cool is that? Just My Imagination.
Wow,
That's
written
Norman
by
Whitfield.
Barrett Song
Yeah. And Norman Whitfield.
and Norman Whitfield.
Yeah, but our guy Vinny and Sheila, they're putting it together, and we're gonna do it sometime in November. I think that's when everything is gonna happen. But we're gonna just put out some really good acting. So you might see one of your people that you train, because
that'd
I'm
be
one
great.
of them.
Oh, okay.
I stare through my window. I watch him as he run on by. Because he running from me.
What is your part in the play?
Well, I have two parts that we're thinking on me doing. I'm going to do some of Gladys Knight's stuff that she sang, like Just My Imagination. And
Let's say just like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I didn't know.
We
that.
gonna do well,
I didn't know.
she
that.
did Heard It Through the Grapevine. I'm sorry, it's gonna be
Yeah,
Heard It Through
okay.
the Grapevine with her,
Okay.
and then Just My Imagination. So
Okay.
we're gonna have two of them together. But
Okay.
yeah, Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so be doing that part. So
Is that
it,
dedicated to your cousin?
it's actually dedicated to Norman Whitfield, because the person that's
Oh,
putting
I
it
see.
on is named Vinny, and they were really, really cool friends.
Oh, great.
And so he's putting it on for Norman. But it's just really weird or awesome how both names are in party. So
Mhm.
I'm doing my service for really for the both of them, because
Mhm.
you know, two extraordinary writers. Come on now.
Mhm.
hit after hit after hit.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
You can't think of one without the other. Come
Right.
on now. Because when you pull it up, guess what? Both names are
show
on.
up.
Yeah, we're feeling
So,
strong. Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I love that. So I can't wait till that happen. We are we are getting it all together now. And then I'm in a movie called The Hospital. It's already on Tubi. I'm in 5 movies, y'all. 5.
The
Just
Okay.
like your
hospital is
family.
on
Yeah.
Tubi
Okay,
now?
what was the name of the one you were telling us about earlier? What was the name of that one? I'm gonna go look these up and
Please,
try to watch it.
please look them. Because the one day that I end up still in a row,
Mhm.
that was 3 keys. I played a psychic.
Okay.
And I was trying to act like Whoopi, but they said Whoopi already got that part. I was like, you know, I had to put my singing in na 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 new na na.
Oh,
You know, so that's 3 keys. I
Okay.
played a psychic.
Okay.
Then she got If I Can't. I'm just a lady with the macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
okay.
Then and one more flip, I'm singing at the funeral.
Okay.
Then in 30 something,
Mhm.
I'm actually the older lady in the grocery store.
Okay.
But then in the hospital, I just got to go beat this bra's butt because she. Can I
What?
say that?
Yeah.
You already
say
I
said
that.
just,
it.
oh God,
You already said
take it
Jen.
away, take it away, Jesus. But in the hospital, it's so funny. Here I go. I'm going to get ya, and I don't even know karate, but I learned that day. Chopped a couple of heads. But we're doing part 2. We're doing part 2, so we're going to start shooting in about a week or so.
Jen,
from
you
now.
have to write all those down.
Yeah, I'm gonna write them
I have
down
to
because
check
you would be.
out.
I'm so
sure.
funny in this. I'm gonna drink some water, guys.
Go right ahead.
Woo, I've never sweat before, but I tell you,
It's not in
Well,
here.
Jenny, I want to kind of bring the latest thing that you and I did together, which I thought was
please, we
phenomenal.
played the emotion.
Yes. We
Oh
did.
my God!
Yes, it was the bomb.
And that was the soul of R&B,
Mm-hmm. Legendary soul.
Legendary,
R&B.
yes. And we
absolutely.
did that.
Yes. We
So you
did.
two were the emotions.
Yeah,
were the
well, it was
emotions.
3
and
of us.
who
It
else?
was
Who's the
three.
other person?
Carol Irving, who is actually, she has her own gospel group with her husband, and they're
Okay.
Sounds of Imani, but she's also my pastor. Her
Yeah.
husband
Okay.
is one of my pastors. But she is an amazing vocalist,
Mhm.
writer.
And she played a doggone keyboard.
And
She wasn't
plays the
scared.
key-
She wasn't scared of all them same looking colors.
No, she wasn't. She's amazing, and she's self-taught. Now,
Yeah.
that's how God worked in
But
her
you know
life.
what? I said I was going to self-teach myself. I
You
am.
can. There's all kind of
Because I know
programs on the internet.
sometimes in our life.
Okay.
I know that.
Well, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. But the thing was so funny when we actually came together to do the audition. I didn't know what we were going to be doing,
Yeah.
but then Lauren decided we should do the
Because
emotion.
that Lauren is something, but he got the ear and he's really good in picking stuff. You know, Lauren, we grew up together. I'm older than him, but
Mhm.
You talking
Lauren
Lauren Harper?
Yeah.
Lauren Harper, you know, we were in matter of fact, we were in Wicked Ways together, and I have never seen a brother to fall asleep and wake up right on time for his scene. Never late. How you gonna fall asleep and wake up singing? I said I was just waiting one day. He gonna miss it. Never missed it. But he got the ear, and he's such a strong vocalist, and he just really know how to put things together.
Yeah, he's a great
Because
writer.
I used to say, what's the other one he did? Spare Change.
Yes,
But it's so
okay.
funny because, like I said, I was like, good Lord, Lauren, he can go way down low, way high. I say, Lauren, he's really talented, and he know how to pick the things. And for him to pick the emotions for us
Mhm.
and the songs that we did, we set the stage on fire.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
We did with the costuming and the sound. The emotions would be proud of
Oh
what
yeah,
we did.
well we did, and the
Yes.
outs and the
Our
outfits.
harmony was fabulous.
Yes, and it was so funny because outfits. I'm like, I don't know. But my girl Diane said, "Look, I got this fabulous lady,
Seamstress,
and
that's
she's a
right.
seamstress that could sew whatever you think about, she could do it." And I mean, our dresses was outstanding.
Yes,
Mm.
both times.
Both times, it was outstanding. Yeah,
We got 2 singers here,
But our
guys.
blend was so.
yeah,
I
Great
mean, it was like
singers.
we were the emotions.
yes.
And that's what everybody said. God, you guys were like
Yeah.
better than the
I
emotions.
know,
Like,
man, oh man.
that's
And
a
then it's so
compliment.
weird. I have a picture when I was with Wicked Ways. They
Mhm.
were in Wicked Ways, and I post a picture on Facebook page with me with them.
Well, I have a story on myself. I was
Tell
doing
me.
an interview with a lady in the UK,
Uh-huh.
and Esther Austin, she contacted me to interview me.
Yes.
Somebody from Detroit recommended that she interview me. So I ended up writing in her magazine 2 articles. But she called me and said, I messed up because I didn't know Detroit had fall back, spring forward. She
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I have the emotions on, and would you be upset if you all had to share the time? I said, the emotions? Are you kidding me?
I know,
And it was a
share.
Zoom call.
Right.
And I said, no, I would not be upset. They're
Right.
one of my favorite groups.
Right.
So we actually got on the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and they sang, and I said, I used to do your song Flowers.
Yeah.
And they said, and I said, I used to do I Don't Ask My Neighbor. They
Yeah.
said, well, why don't you sing along with us a cappella? And when I jumped in with them,
They were.
and they was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you know these songs and you know where to
Yeah.
go. I said, whatever Noah was missing, I'm going to jump in.
Right.
That was awesome. They were
Yeah.
such nice ladies.
Yeah, I love
They
it.
really were nice
I
ladies.
can see voice that you don't know me very well. You're so unsure. Come to me.
All right.
Don't ask my neighbor. Yes.
Talking about live.
That's right.
Yeah.
Live on streaming.
Yes.
All right. That was fun, Jenny.
Yeah.
I look forward to us doing those shows.
Oh, yes.
I really did.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes. And then I was thinking, I was thinking too, last week I got a chance to go to the Tigers game because of the Negro League.
Oh, great.
I have 3 cousins that was in the Negro League. 2
Oh,
are
my
still living.
goodness. How old are they, Jenny?
Minnie Forbes. They're on my mom's side from
Okay.
Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Minnie Forbes and Johnny Walker.
Okay.
And Ted Raspberry was the one who actually he was the one who actually had the Kansas City Monarchs and Detroit Stars.
Okay.
And he gave one of because you can't have 2 teams. He gave one to my cousin Minnie. And man, oh man, you would not be able to tell how good they look. I don't want to say the age because I tell my mama age and she say that's my business. I said, Mama, be proud. She says between me and the law. So I said, okay,
That's why
Lord.
you're so funny, Jenny.
Man.
Your mom is hilarious.
My mama is hilarious.
She is.
One
She
day she
really
asked me,
is.
she said, Jeannie, I said, what? She said, are we po?
What?
I said, Mama, what you mean are we po? Because I'm sick of these dang sandwiches. I said, Mama, it's a breakfast sandwich. Did I cook you a breakfast sandwich? Ain't no such thing as no breakfast sandwich. She ready for the grits, the salmon croquettes, the bacon. You know,
All of
she
that,
from down
all of
south.
That, all of that.
Yeah, but my 3 cousins, 2 are still living. It's with the Negro League. And they told me that they're changing it to the Black League. They want to take away Negro.
Okay.
I say don't take our history away. That's what it
Who's
was.
trying to
That-
do that?
Change it.
Somebody was trying to change. I guess I should have got more information.
What?
But seriously, that's what they said.
And they're going to change the name
Oh, I
to
think
the
they
black.
the Black Negroes.
No, not black Negro. Not black Negroes, Jenny. Come on. You
Well,
mean
they can't be
black-
yellow.
You know
Okay, in
what?
all seriousness, because this is good.
Oh
This is
my
good
God.
news. But the Negro League, every year they come and I have the chance to see my cousins from Grand Rapids. And like I said, Johnny Walker and Minnie Forbes. And she's the lady that usually you see throw the ball.
Okay.
And my other cousin, Ted Raspberry, rest his soul, he died like at 92, and that was years ago. But the thing is, they were saying they was thinking about changing it from Negro League. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I know I'm
Stay
sick
in
of
the
them.
Negro League.
Yeah,
It
it should.
should.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were named.
Yeah.
That's what they
Because
were
at that time,
That's what it
they
was.
called us.
Okay.
Negro.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
And I don't feel that's a demeaning word, but if they said something else, then I would be upset.
Yeah, because that's what they called us back then.
That's
Negroes,
right. We've been so many things.
I know.
Negroes,
Colored.
colored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say colored. Well, let me paint myself.
And they would switch off. And sometimes for a certain period it'd be Negroes,
Mhm.
and for another period it'd be colored, and back to Negroes,
Yeah.
and then Afro-Americans.
Yeah,
So
just
we've,
all that. I know when people come to the job and we have to ask them, what's your nationality or what, what that. One lady said, I ain't putting nothing. I said, well, I'm going to put it because I know you're black. No, just,
Right.
I'm sorry. That was a joke.
Yeah.
You didn't do that, though.
I didn't know because you can't.
Now
can't
that's
dip
something that
face
I
this
don't
up.
even. I don't like that. Why do we have to be anything?
Because what we do, see, the thing is, and then my pastor said this too one point, we don't get into it when it comes to, I want to say, and I don't want to say experiment, but when it comes to doing things to find out what matches us or what will help us, we don't do that. So it's like because of what happened back in the day with
The
with
census.
yeah, well, with the blacks when they was trying to give them stuff just to see, we don't want to be guinea pigs. Is what I should say.
Right.
We don't want to be guinea pigs.
And that's why I don't feel it's necessary to designate who you
But
are.
we need
You're
to
a
know.
human
We need to
being.
know the population of what's going on here and what's going on and there, so we can better serve and we'll know. Because a lot of times when you go get medicine, they say, oh, they give you generic, and they say, oh, this might work or this might work, because we don't get in there to see. And I don't blame them, but we don't get in there to see.
The trial.
Yeah, how we go in there and do
Yeah,
stuff.
that's just Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
enough
stands
to
out.
make you not want to do it.
Right. And then we have
Right.
people that come to my job and say that too. Tuskegee, I don't want to do it because but it's like, man, if you go cut your arm on something metal or a dog bite you, guess what? You're getting a Tdap. That's
Mhm.
what you're going to get.
That's
A
right.
tetanus shot. So
Mhm.
that's nothing new. So why you don't want your kids to get it? Because now if you really look at it, everything is coming back.
Mhm.
Chicken pox and all that stuff. But back to the music.
Before then we get to the music again, our station break, curtain call, coming to you live, streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So please tell us what you think about us. We hope you're enjoying this show. I know I certainly am.
Me too.
So watch us, tell your friends about us, give us a thumbs up, write something in the comment. Pretty soon we're going to give you a number to call so that you can call us and interact with us online. Look for us every Monday at 5 o'clock on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV station in the world. And next week I'll have more information on that acting class. So Jeannie,
Yes.
I had you in play Family Love,
hmm
and we were fortunate enough to do that play at the music hall.
Yes.
And I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was, but it was
Don't
a long
say
time
it.
ago. And the producer really wanted something more in line to what Mike Matthews was doing and David Talbot and
Yeah.
and Shelley Gadd and those kind of plays. And Family Love didn't fit that particular genre.
Mhm.
So when we finished our run of Family Love, the promoter took you and Kim
Kim
Reba
Henry
the
at the
Diva.
time. Yeah, Kim Reba.
and put you in a play. What play was that?
That was called Child Support.
Child Support. That was
Yeah.
out of North Carolina.
Yes, it was. And we also work with David Payton too. So they
Okay.
just put us. But Vanessa Bell Armstrong too is
Yeah.
the one who really gave us the recommendation.
Okay, because Vanessa
Yeah.
played
The mother.
the grandmother,
Yeah.
the
Show
grandmother
Grandma
in
Baker.
Yeah.
Grandma Baker in Family Love. That was Vanessa Bell Armstrong.
Sure
We had
was.
Sherelle as Mickey,
Yeah.
and the lead singer of the Temptations now, Anthony Grant,
Yeah.
played Al Bowden, and Kevin Ford out of
Hey, you
Chicago.
remember all that.
Yep, and the late great Roger E. Mosley played
See?
Grandpa.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and that was a wonderful show.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't what Quentin Perry was looking for at the time.
But you know what? Sometimes they can be looking for the wrong stuff. 'Cause that's what I say about the movie business.
Mhm.
Really, what I say, oh, that's too. They're like, that's life. No, that's what's happening now. It is what's happening, but it's a lot of stuff happening. So you can have that stuff, this stuff, and that stuff because it's all life.
Well, what
You
I
know?
find with writing, everybody doesn't want to see the sexual thing.
No,
They don't want to see the transition of femininity and male. I want to see something that edifies me,
Right.
makes me feel good about a possibility of something great happening in my
Yeah.
life or somebody's life. I don't want to always see that. I want to see elevation.
yeah,
And that's one thing that I loved about doing the play with
Yeah.
Mr. Douglas' Family Life, because it was a wonderful story of family
yeah.
sticking
Family
together.
love.
It was family love.
Right.
Mhm.
And it was this is what's been missing as far as I'm concerned in the Black community.
Yeah.
We don't have the solid family love like we did back when I was a kid growing up. When I was growing up, everybody knew everybody in the neighborhood. Everybody helped each other. Family came and stayed when somebody lost their job.
Right.
We don't have that kind of family thing going on now. So family love to me was when I was asked to be a participant in the play and become Grandma Baker. After I read the script, I was like, wow, this is wonderful. I want to be in something that shows us as having compassion and love and respect and honor for each other and our grandparents or our parents.
Right.
That's what I like about family love.
Yeah.
We need that kind of thing right now, truly, because the Black family is not where we should be or want to be or need to be.
Yeah. And like I said, it's just a lot that's going on, but they show different sides and everybody want to see the other side. That's the thing. They want to see the other side of stuff, in which, like we say, you want to, because it's actually happening. You got people losing their lives over drugs. You got people trying to eat and they living in the streets, or they trying to make amends and they just doing all kinds of stuff. So it's just all they say, that's life. You know, they say that's life. So it's just more that, because I guess what they see, people really tap into that because they feel that that's them. That's me. That's me doing this.
But everybody doesn't have that experience.
Right.
Everybody doesn't sell drugs or out killing people.
And that's true.
That's not the norm.
Yeah.
So to continuously promote that kind of thing is sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But
we're just we're out of time now.
Oh, wow.
But the discussion is getting to be so good. Yeah. And it's been great. It's been hilarious. It's been the most entertaining. Gina Lala, thank you for being here on Curtain Call.
Curtain Call.
and now it is
for
time.
Diane and Robert. The Curtain Call.
And on that note, you guys, we're going to take it out with Gina Lyles making up a theme song for Curtain Call. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.